Today we're going to be working on our gumball machine, and to get started we want to make the box. And the box has to be the same for all of you. It has to have a bottom, has to have the two sides with the hole for the sorter drilled in, has to have a top and the back attached. I'm going to go over how to get all this done. Everyone starts with the same box. Once the box is done, you're free to do the inside any way you would like. Let's get to it. So for the gumball machine build, we're going to start with the same parts for everyone. We need 3 side and top pieces. There's 1, 2, 3. We're going to need 1 bottom piece. As you can see, it's a little larger. And then 1 back piece, which should be approximately the same height as the sides. Okay, so this is all our pieces. Before we do anything major, we are going to drill our holes into 2 of the side pieces. And I'm actually going to leave this one as the top, so I'm going to slide it out of here. I'm going to use these 2 pieces. I'm going to go over the drill press and drill. All right, so here is the drill press where we are going to drill our holes for the front and back piece. And you got to make sure that the chips are all cleared out of here. I got a chip in here. And the way it works is we put our piece of wood all the way in to this piece. And then we're going to clamp it down just to make sure it can't lift up. And we're just going to drill straight down through. That's 1. And then once again, it's very important we clean all these chips out. And then we have our 2 holes drilled out. They're going to line up. And this is where our dowel is going to go, giving us about 1 inch to put gumballs in this storage area. All right, we're back over here with our 2 pieces. And I've also brought the dowel that's going to go through these. So the first thing you want to do with these is these pieces are going to go on either end of our back piece here. So what I'm just going to do is just quickly, I'm just going to hold the back piece here. I'm going to make a mark on both of my pieces, like so. And from that mark, and I'm going to leave this on the inside, I'm going to go up about 1 inch on each one of these. So 1 inch on this one, 1 inch on this one, right in the middle. I'm going to make 2 marks. And what I'm going to do with these marks is I am just going to drill a pilot hole for when I go to assemble this with screws. I'm going to move all the pieces out of the way for a second. I'm going to get my piece of scrap wood here. And we're just going to come through quickly and drill our pilot holes. I got all my pilot holes laid out, and on the opposite sides, I'm going to use a counterbore bit just to accommodate the screws I'm going to put in here a little better. All right, so I'm just coming in quick. I'm going to time lapse through this, but I'm just going to use this countersink tool right here to make some nice countersinks that I'm going to use with my screws. Now, when it is time to put these together, I'm going to actually put the rod in first. I'm going to put the rod in. If you need some sanding on the rod, that's okay. We're not actually going to attach the rod, but it is important that these line up with the rod. I'm going to look at this. If I need to trim a little on my box here, I'm going to mark it, and you can give that to me, and I will just trim it. Most of these should be all right, but I'm going to trim that just a little bit. Okay, so got everything lined up. Everything seems to match. All I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take screws and I'm going to screw them into the back piece, just like this. Now, I'm going to have you guys do this by hand with a screwdriver like so. When I do this for the rest of the video, after I do this one by hand, I'm just going to use a drill because I'm trying to do things more quickly for you. But this should screw in no problem with the screw. Even if it pushes away, if you just hold firmly onto the stock, it will start going in. And the reason we're doing this is if you're not careful with a screw gun, you can strip the pine out pretty badly. So see right there, I've screwed it all the way in. As you can see in the back, it is screwed in firmly. From here, I will use a screw gun on the drill, but for you guys, you're going to have to do it by hand, just because I do not want you stripping out the wood. All right. So now that we've got the box together, I'm not going to worry about the rod just yet. We're not going to full-time assemble that. I'm going to lift this up a little so you can see. I've got to now put on the top piece. And for the top piece, we want to try to center it. Now I'm going to allow you guys to eyeball the centering of this. And then for now, it is a similar procedure to the other one. We're going to put a hole in each side. I'm going to put one hole here. I'm going to put a second hole here. I am going to counter bore both of those holes, or countersink I should say. And then once they're counterbored, you can just screw them in by hand. Now, this piece is going to come on and off a lot of times. That's one of the reasons I like you doing it by hand, because I do not want any of them stripped out. The final piece we got to put on, which is a little trickier, is the bottom piece. Now, it should be back justified, meaning we want the back of the project to be flush here. And then we're going to decide if we should move it to this side, and you're going to exit on this side, or to this side. So you got to pick if you want a left or a right exit. The other side should pretty much be matching up with the top, and you have extra room on one side. So I'm deciding I want to do it this way. I'm just going to get this here. I'm going to do a little trace to kind of get an idea where I'm going to want my holes. And the bottom piece we can put on with 3 holes. So I got the bottom piece here. It's all laid out, as you can see. And then I'm going to put a hole right about here, right about here, right about here, and then we can screw it in from the bottom. So that's where my holes are going to be. I'm going to get my scrap piece over here so I don't drill into the table. I'm going to do 1 hole, 2 holes, 3 holes. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to do my countersink work. So once I flip it over, I'll see where all those holes came out and I can countersink them because we are going to screw this in from the bottom. All right, so now I'm just going to take this. I'm going to put the bottom piece on here. I'm going to make sure very carefully I'm lining it all up. So it looks all lined up, ready to go. And once I get it there, I'm going to just screw in my pieces. So one, do the other side. All right, so there you go.